Hey, this is the first episode of, I don't know what to call this, the JoJolanders. I don't
Yes.
know. The JoJolanders. There you go. So so for some previous context, we've been keeping up with the JoJolands since, I think I started around chapter 7, I want to say, because I caught up after that, and then you started probably around chapter 20 something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we decided now, with the end of the first act, I guess, of JoJolands, as we learn, to start recording our reactions. I think it'd be pretty fun. So, I guess going through here, let's just go through. Um, Actually, I'll just go based off your screen. So if we go to the start. So I guess overall, our initial reactions is, I think it's a good chapter.
It is.
What do you think?
I do. I think it's a good chapter.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're grandma and grandson here. That's the duo we've got going on. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a setup chapter. But I think we kind of expected that going in, especially after the previous chapter and how kind of crazy that was. So yeah, I guess just going off here. I mean, the chapter opens up with like obviously kind of the aftermath of the boat arc, the yacht arc. Um, we seem to be in some sort of like hospital, and like Yokohama, Lame Shebang, and Key West are all there, and then Lulu was just kind of just abandoned, which I mean I guess makes sense, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't need her anymore,
Yeah.
and she's just kind of a liability if they were to keep her around. Although it's kind of weird though that like I don't know, I feel like Key West and Lame Shebang would just rat them out, right? Or like go to them and be like, hey, if you don't want us to spill the beans, give us a cut, right?
Right.
Although maybe
They don't know where they are.
either that or maybe it wouldn't be too incriminating for them. Yokohama doesn't know shit
No.
because he was like knocked out since the hospital way back when. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I wonder if anything's gonna happen to that, or if this is Araki just being like, Key West and Lame Shebang are out of the story. I hope Lulu isn't.
Right. Lulu, I don't think will be.
I don't think so, because like she's like Howler's daughter, or allegedly Howler's daughter. Howler hasn't
Possibility.
spoken about it, but she seems pretty convinced that she is.
Yeah.
And then this is crazy. We get a time jump. We finally get the time jump in JoJolands. I think people were talking about that. We're kind of theorizing that JoJolands would go into a time skip. 9 months. This
Long time.
I'm trying to think if any JoJo part had a time skip that long. I think I know like part 8 and stuff took place over like a few months or whatever, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like,
I don't think it was 9 months.
yeah, nothing that long. And then yeah, no, that's a long time. For just like a jump in nothing happening, basically. That's crazy. And then we have this little scene here of Dragona, Usagi, and Jodio. I really like I mean we'll get into this later, but I really like Jodio's characterization in this chapter. It feels kind of more, at least in my opinion, for most of like up to this chapter. Once we kind of got into like Bag's groove or whatever, it really felt like Jodio's like characterization kind of felt more like Giorno-esque, which I know he's like the alternate Giorno, right? But I don't know, it felt like he was a lot more like Giorno like instead of being kind of like Dio like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this chapter really feels like a lot of his a lot of that more like that antisocial personality disorder kind of comes back, instead of being like this like kind of stoic, determined.
In charge.
Yeah. He still feels in charge, but also it's always nice to see more Dragona. I love Dragona. I hope they get more moments like they did in this chapter as well, which I really like. And Usagi's yapping about popcorn. I've been talking too much. You gotta contribute a little.
Well, and Dragona's teaching Jodio how to drive.
Yeah. Which might mean that Jodio's 16 now.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were told what his birthday is, but I actually I don't even know if we know what like time we're really even in JoJolands. I know people keep debating on if it's like set in like 2022 or 2023 or whatever. Personally, I think Araki's keeping it kind of nebulous because right now it can be anywhere from like 2022 to 2025. Maybe he's keeping it nebulous until he like until he like needs to lock it down.
Yep, it could be. I agree with that.
But we have this fun scene where they like crash into a car because Jojo's learning, and then Usagi, which is interesting. I know we talked about this when we were reading the chapter. It's like, can Usagi now just use his stand whenever he wants? Because like the like the gangsters or these like guys like approach them and they like
Want him out of the car.
right they want to like road rage, right, or something like that, maybe scam them out of money, rob them, and then Usagi just like steps out with no one, as far as we can tell, telling them that like I want road footage or something, unless the guy said it and we just missed it. But seems like he just says get out of the car, and then Usagi gets out and he's just like, take a look at this. Like shows them all the security footage and stuff like that.
By using this stand.
Yeah, using the Mate Kudasai, which like it seems like he used it without anyone telling him they wanted something.
Yeah, it did.
So I don't know if like maybe his stand evolved or something. If that's gonna hit like more elaboration as this new arc, as this new act goes on or something, but I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I mean, this is a very Usagi chapter, right?
Yeah.
It's
And then Usagi's showing them that they hit Jodio and them, and
right,
vice versa.
It's really cool, honestly, because like I'd say personally Usagi, next to like, I'd say Usagi was definitely the least developed of the JoJolands gang.
I agree.
But now it seems like this entire next arc is gonna like revolve around him, kind of, his family at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene's kind of fun. I kind of like it. It's nice seeing just the gang interact more in non kind of plot relevant scenarios.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we get the scene of assumedly Usagi's mom. Well, yeah, it is Usagi's mom. It's basically confirmed in this chapter. Getting scammed
On the web.
Yeah, Kit Bogo would have a field day with this.
Right. I'll send you $20. You send me back $20.
Yep. And we see Usagi's little sister Tori-chan, with some. He says she has like a muscular disease or something. Like she needs a cane to walk. I don't know if it's like muscle atrophy. It's really hard to tell because Araki just draws children really all like Tsurugi from Part 8. Like they all just kind of look like Tsurugi, like similar to Tsurugi.
Right.
But I mean, the cane, I guess, is really the only thing that tells us that Tori has a muscular disease. But yeah, basically, Araki just goes through the scam with her. There's not really much here besides like Usagi's mother is either not very tech savvy or she's like really trusting.
Well, they said that they can make the virus go away.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, me and you know that
You don't ever download.
Right.
One, you never call the number.
Right, you Google it and then you you go to like the company's website and you go up based on their contact number and stuff like that. You don't go on the number the virus is showing. Like me and you both know that, and like assuming this takes place in like 2023 or something even.
Yeah.
Like Usagi's mother clearly is not
computer savvy.
Yeah. Or something.
Right.
Too trusting, whatever. But yeah, she clearly gets scammed. I don't really know how much else I don't really have much to add else on this.
They said we're gonna charge her $110. Well,
right, and then as we learn, like they ended up just taking $300,000, and ended up somehow actually we'll get to that later in the chapter whenever like it gets brought up. But yeah, so she gets scammed, which honestly, again, I don't know. I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, no, that.
Oh, this scene. I don't know. This scene really hit me. Because we get, I mean, obviously we see Usagi walking, like, taking the train back home and stuff like that. And it's, like, dark out. And he's going home with his fries from the scene earlier when they were in the car wreck or whatever. And then, like, he just gets into his apartment. And I don't know. And he just lays on the chair. It actually kind of hurts to see. Because he's such a happy-go-lucky guy all the time.
But he seems like he's down in the dumps.
Right. And I mean, he starts crashing out later in the chapter, but
yeah.
You know, he seems like it's hard seeing Usagi in like a position like this because he's usually never, at least from all the times we see him.
Before.
Yeah, aside from like the times he's in like direct combat, you know, like when he was like against Ningbo or something, like that makes sense. But in this one, it's just like he goes home, he realizes he sees his mom and sister aren't there anymore. He just collapses on the chair. Not even his own room, assuming he even has his own room, I'd assume.
Right.
And then we cut back to the gang, I assume the next day or something. It's weird that, like, Meryl, that they still has bullet holes in it.
Well, they can't get it fixed because they'll know something went down.
Well,
remember they put up that fake room?
Yeah, but it looks like the room's not there anymore. I guess maybe Meryl doesn't have the funds to fix it right now. Because as we learned, they're still waiting for, like, the land deal to, like, the military to stop poking their noses in it.
Well, that and the fact that she said if they have someone work on it, it'd have to be someone they could trust that wouldn't say anything.
True. Yeah, it reminds me of, you remember Breaking Bad with, or Better Call Saul with, like, Gus Fring's, like, hole in the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of what it makes me think of. Because Part 9 already has a lot of like Breaking Bad kind of like stuff, but they're talking about what are they talking about here? They're talking about like Paco gets a manager job, kind of just talking about what everyone's doing. I really like that we get to see Paco's kleptomania again. Feels like it's been so long since we've seen that character trait of his.
Yeah.
Where he just nabs Dragona's phone, and they have to snatch it back.
Charming Man went back to the island of Hawaii.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if like this arc I wonder if like he's not going to show up till like later in the arc, or like what's going to go on with that. Because I really liked Charming Man, but I mean he wasn't really like directly involved with the crew. He just kind of tagged along because he thought it'd help find his brother.
Could be.
Oh wait, is the island of North Slope of Hawaii? Is that I think that's a different island on Hawaii.
Could be.
Is it? I don't know much about Hawaii's geography, but maybe he went back to Hawaii to like search for his brother. Now that they all have access to the land.
But then they were thinking, or she's thinking about digging a tunnel out of the hideout.
Right. I assume probably because she realized she didn't really have an escape option when Ningbo and Lame showed up. Or no, because they dragged her along because she was in her like principal office. But I assume it's because she realized there wasn't really an escape route if someone were to attack them in here.
And then she said something about keeping if they were to get construction done, keeping the workers from saying anything. Right.
The thing we were just talking about. But I think it's interesting that Charming Man went back to Hawaii.
It is.
If the North Slope of Hawaii is on Hawaii, I bet it's so he can search for his brother on the Howler land. Now that they have it, so he's not going to be impeded anymore from trespassing.
Right.
I bet that's probably it. If not, then I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe he's just waiting until they get full. Maybe he was waiting until he gets his share. I don't know.
Could be.
Well, even then, you'd think that you would want to search now while they have it, rather than wait till they like sell it.
Right, but if things aren't settled, you know.
Yeah, and then Usagi appears, and he's clearly in a different mood. He's not looking very happy right now.
Right.
He just struts
to
up to Meryl Man, starts demanding basically for his share, which I mean, given the circumstance that he's in, I don't blame him really.
Right.
You know, he's like, and also he's like, these are still teenagers, all of these people except Meryl. Well, I guess no, Paco's like 19 or something, but
The rest.
Oh, and Dragona's 18, but I mean, Usagi himself is 17, maybe pushing 18 at this point, depending on when his birthday is.
Yeah.
So like I mean, either way, they're all still very young compared to Meryl, who's probably like in her like late 30s, maybe.
Probably.
Give or take.
She explains that her company that holds the rights is on the north slope of Hawaii.
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 Oh, it is of Hawaii, of the island
yeah,
Hawaii. So Charming Man must have went back to, I guess, search for his.
But the land is currently under control of the
right. Yeah.
And the army, so it can't be bought or sold. So they can't do it.
It's kind of interesting because like that is like obviously what would happen, but now it's like the story. It's almost like Araki like needs to find a new direction for the story, you know, because now like the main plot that's been going on for the past like 30-ish chapters is now basically on pause because we have to wait for the military to be done
and say it's okay.
We got to wait for whatever's going on with Howler too, because they talk about Howler, how he's disappearing.
Yep. No one knows where he's at.
Yeah, which makes me super excited. I really like Howler. He's probably the most interesting character in my opinion in the JoJolands, and probably my personal favorite. I guess we never really. I mean, since we're starting fresh here, we should probably explain who our favorites are. Who's your favorite character right now of the bunch?
I like Jodio.
You like Jodio?
Yeah.
I like Jodio and Howler. I think they're a really fun protagonist, and I'm of the opinion Howler's probably the main villain personally.
I think he is.
Yeah, but yeah. So I always love seeing more Howler, even if it's just mentioning him.
Shows his stand there too.
True. Yeah, all this stuff about I think that's a new like drawing of Howler.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen like a shot of him from like this angle before, and like the back of his head. But yeah, basically they just talk about how like they
take years.
Yeah, they can't do anything, and Usagi just starts crashing out. Obviously, they ask him what's going on, and then he's basically explaining. Well, it's interesting. Okay, this is what I find a bit weird, because like he's like, I don't want to explain it. He's like, whatever, I'll just wait till my money's here, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then Jodio whispers to Dragona, who whispers to Meryl, and then suddenly Meryl points out how, Usagi's broke. Well, Paco reacts that he's broke, which do they just have access to each other's bank accounts? Does Meryl have access to their bank accounts? I mean, that would make sense, right? Because she needs to like deposit the money to them.
I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that would be like traceable though, right? I mean, especially since I would assume she'd be paying them for their heists and stuff they've committed or their crimes, unless she like puts it under the guise of like they work for her. I don't know.
Well, and they had money from the watch that was sold. That's where you had the money.
And it's interesting that Jodio points this out first rather than like Meryl or something.
Yeah.
And then, so like, I wonder if like Jodio was just looking at their bank accounts or something beforehand, if they have access to that information, which I don't really know why Meryl would let Jodio be able to look at that. I don't know. I thought that was a little weird, but maybe
it was.
I guess it's just so Araki can have the characters learn what's going on. But yeah, Usagi explains what's going on here. And then...
Wasn't him.
Right, yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, Charming Man accused him. Charming Man, like, almost, like, refused to help him because he considered him a drug addict way back in, like, the start of, like, Bag's Groove. So maybe he's, like, a little self-conscious about that now.
Could be.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the group starts asking him about what's going on, like the scam, how they got scammed and all that. Jodio's still just looking at the laptop, I guess.
That's what it looks like.
Like I said, I really like Jodio's characterization here, where he's not really like directly talking to Usagi or anything. He's just like observing the information and then making judgments and assumptions. He's just like observing what's going on.
Yeah.
He whispers to Dragona again, who whispers to Meryl. And then Meryl, like, analyzes and talks about how it's like a cybercrime.
Right.
Which I think is...
And his mom and sister are coming home.
Yeah. And again, I think it's really weird that Jodio seems to be running the whole show here. But, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, Jodio is, like, a more commanding presence than the other people. But you think Meryl would, like, have put this together or, like...
Right.
Would have done something. But, I don't know. I guess Jodio's taking... I guess now that Jodio's probably, like... I assume he's, like, 16 or something. Maybe he has a learner's permit. But, either way, it's, like... He seems to have taken a more of a leadership role now instead of... Because when they first went to, like, Rohan's place, he was just the gopher. He was just the guy to be lookout.
Yeah.
Now it seems like he's, like, making these, like, judgment calls and stuff like that.
Well, and then Usagi gets mad because Jodio...
Because Jodio keeps whispering,
yeah.
you know? Which understandably makes sense, because, like...
Right.
It seems like Jodio seems to be just making all these call-outs and stuff. And then, dude, I was so surprised that Paco just, like, choked out Usagi.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, did they scam his mom? I was like, is this about to take a dark turn? But I guess it was just to, like, calm him down.
So I didn't get more excited.
Well, yeah, but it's
right.
Still a bit weird, but I mean, I guess it makes sense.
And they're talking about going after the people that went after his money.
Which, again, is also interesting because, like, a big point of, like, this story was Jodio talking about how, like, none of them were, like, friends or anything like that. Which maybe that was just his perspective.
Right.
But maybe after the fight with Ningbo and stuff, Paco now considers Usagi more of a friend that he, like, cares about.
Right.
And Dragona makes sense. Dragona's always had more of a moral compass than Jodio. So, like, I feel bad for Usagi. Yeah, I sure hope you would.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for that guy. But I like that Paco is a lot more, like gung-ho for it.
Right.
So they start talking about this. And, dude, this is what makes me think this scammer is... Well, obviously, they make this scammer sound a lot more serious. Because, like, scamming Usagi's mom out of all her money makes sense, right? But then, like, having her, like, sign a organ contract,
yeah,
like to donate her 13-year-old daughter's organs if she were to die in an accident for, like,
that I don't understand.
Yeah, which I think is why they like pointed out. It's like, well, the fact that they made her sign this screams that this scammer knew about, like, Tori-chan and her, like, her condition, and probably knew how to, like, scam Usagi's mother too. Maybe they knew that Usagi's mother was pretty bad with tech and all that stuff.
Could be.
So they just,
and
like,
that they paid $15,000 for her medical condition.
True.
Last year.
Yeah. So clearly it seems like someone who would know the Usagi. Oh, what is this? Alahoe, the Alahoe family, which I think is interesting. I mean, I think this is going to be, like, a little bit of a mystery, right? I think it's going to be like clues for who it could be. So I don't think we're supposed to have any idea who it might be. Right. But still, I mean, I think this is a good way to kind of push the story in a good direction that seems like it would lead to good character interactions.
I agree.
Until Act 3 comes around, and I assume that's when the land deal's that's when the military's gonna be like, it's good. And this is just my theory. I assume Act 2 is going to be this whole thing with, like, finding the scammer and dealing with them. And then that's going to give a lot of character moments and maybe bonding and stuff. And then Act 3 is going to roll around. The military is going to say, the land looks good. You can have it, Meryl May. And then that's when Howler's going to make his move, I bet. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's just a little theory. I'll check back on this in 6 years when JoJolands is done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they basically... I mean, they say the same thing we were just talking about, how, like, you know, scammer must know the Usagi family because of, you know, they knew about the daughter's health condition and medical expenses and all that stuff.
Made completely online.
Yeah, that basically the scammer has to be someone that knows about the family. It can't be just some random, you know, Nigerian prince scammer. You know, it has to be someone who specifically knew to target them.
And they don't think that they're kidnapped, but
you
never can tell.
True. And then this is the moment I really like, is near the end when they when they ask Jodio if he's about to let this stand or whatever, and then Jodio is just like he's just like really non-committal about it. He's just like, well, if Dragona wants to, then I will.
Yeah.
I really like that because it again kind of reinforces this idea that Jodio doesn't really particularly care that much about except for money and his family.
Well, he says he doesn't just want to get the $300,000
True.
back.
He's in this more for the money.
Well,
he sees the chance to save Usagi's family as a chance to steal from the scammer to raise his position, in life. And I like this little text here is like the flow of money is all about the strong preying on the weak. So it's almost like, I mean, that makes me question what like the lava rock is.
Well, that's what they said. Take everything they have.
Right, because if the lava rock manipulates like the flow of value and money, maybe the lava rock manipulates the. Maybe the lava rock doesn't really manipulate the flow of money. Maybe it manipulates the flow of like power.
Then Jodio calls someone.
Right, we know who it is, but I want to stick on this point a little more, because the flow of money is the thing that like it's a very nebulous thing, and like it's a very human-made concept, right?
Right.
So like it feels weird that this like natural thing manipulates the flow of a human concept. So like, because Jodio says the flow of money is all about the strong preying on the weak.
Yep.
So what if like what the lava rock manipulates is the flow of power? Because you know the saying money is power, right? So I'm thinking like, what if like if you hold the rock, it draws power towards you, and in modern society, a lot of that is money, monetary power.
Wasn't it said before it draws the money to you?
Well, yeah, but I'm starting to think that maybe all the characters are thinking that the lava rock's draw of money is more actually just them misinterpreting a draw of power.
Could be.
Because that feels more in line with like that feels a lot more like a JoJo thing, right? Like, you know, because like in part 7 and 8 you had the Holy Corpse, which like drew good things to it, fortune.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. It was more like an exchange, but whatever. And then in you know part 8 you had Wonder of You with the draw of calamity or like negative misfortune. So like power is neither fortunate nor misfortunate. You know, it's kind of in between.
I agree.
Maybe the lava rock is actually that. I don't know. That was just kind of something that just popped in my mind. And then Jodio calls, and then people were wondering when he was gonna come back into the story, and it's fucking Rohan.
Right.
And I guess Araki is like addressing the question that like, well, he probably had this planned out, but he's addressing the question that everyone had. Where like, if these lava rocks were so important, how did Rohan know about them?
Yeah.
You know, Howler was like, I've been looking for these things forever, and I never could find them. You know, how did Rohan just stumble upon these on his land without like any repercussions, basically? I also like that he gets mad at Jodio for breaking one of them.
Right, that could be. That and then like he said, you destroyed one of them. There was two, and you destroyed one. You remember that?
And then Jodio says, "It's an ally." I think that's kind of cool. And there's no break. There's no break, which means we're getting chapter 34 and Steel Ball Run anime next month and volume 8. I'm looking forward to that volume 8 art for JoJolands. I hope Howler's on it, because like a big part of that volume is Howler, kind of centric. So that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I really liked this chapter. I mean, it was a setup chapter, so it wasn't like a whole lot that went on, and there was a lot of it was used on like just like the scam part of just like showing the scam going down. But
when it said part 1, so part 2's coming.
True, yeah. I Also, I was kind of because also now that I'm thinking about it, it's like the scam part didn't show the parts that were like really weird about it, like the whole organ contract thing.
Yeah.
It just kind of showed the basic scam part that everyone knows about scams, which I thought was a bit fluff, you know.
Right.
But I really liked Jojo's characterization in this chapter, mainly near the end where he was like he was very like commanding of the presence, like he was like whispering. It seems like he's not really the type that, you know, Giorno really liked to kind of be
in charge.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I necessarily he liked to be, but he really like stepped up.
Yeah.
Whenever he needed to like establish, like whenever he needed to get people on track, or like he needed to like encourage people and stuff like that. But Jodio seems to take a lot more of like a back. He likes to be in the background. It seems like.
Except for on the boat, he was more in charge.
True. I kind of when all the chips were down, you know, kind of he had no other choice, I guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that he seems to be more like he'll tell you what to tell someone instead of telling them himself, unless like, you know, all pretenses are gone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious, you know, how things are gonna go, because like, is this just gonna be like a part 4 look for Yoshikage Kira type thing where like we got to dig around to find out who this scammer is, or like
yeah,
I'm not really sure how this Act 2 is gonna go.
Yeah, and how do they find someone off the online?
Right, because like unless like next chapter Meryl's like, oh, I know somebody, I know someone who can like hack.
She knew someone in the crime division.
Right, yeah, she did mention how she knew dirty cops and stuff like that, but she mentioned how they're dirty so they can just be outbid, you know?
Right.
Especially because they don't have their 50 billion, you know?
Right.
It's not like they have to wait for that. It's not like they can like be like, okay, you just do work for us and then in like a year we'll get you like $1 billion or something. No, it's there's very likelihood that they could be outbid, especially since the scammer has at least $300,000.
Right.
Which is quite a good chunk of change.
Yeah. That is.
Do you have any theories where the story might go?
I don't. I'm not sure which way it's going to head, but it sounds like they're going to go after him.
Well, yeah.
And then I think that they're going to go have more lava rocks made.
Right.
Try to find some more.
Honestly, I don't know if I really want that. I don't know. The lava rocks feel very like convenient, you know.
Yeah.
I don't. It makes a lot of the story feel less like the characters are making decisions that have impact, and more just like, oh, the lava rock's doing all of it, you know.
Right.
So I hope it's not like that, or maybe like Rohan is like that. It's like a very complicated process or something. Because like the only hint we have is like Latrado's notebook or whatever.
Right.
That seemed very complicated. At least from what we can tell.
Right, that's true.
How are you feeling about part 9? I guess kind of give her a nice baseline since this is our first episode.
I actually like part 9. It's quite interesting. I like the stands. They're unique.
I like them too. They've been very fun.
Yeah.
I especially
I just don't understand if Powers bounces up and into someone, or
yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like as soon as Araki like explains it, we're gonna be like, okay, that's how that. Yeah. But at the moment, it's just like, maybe it does this ?
Yeah.
I really like Jodio. He feels. I'm a bit of a Giorno hater. I don't hate him, but I definitely feel like he could have been done a lot better. And I really like Jodio's kind of take on the idea of almost like an evil JoJo. Giorno's not an evil JoJo, but like he's a lot more like lethal. He's a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, he kind of has that more you know, he's very like what do people say? He's the mix of Jonathan and Dio, where like he has Jonathan's like heroism and like gentlemanness, chivalry, as they'd say, but he has like Dio's like ruthlessness and
Right.
cunning and all that stuff. I like Jodio a lot because he feels super fresh for a protagonist.
Right.
You know, like any JoJo at all in the previous ones, I'd even argue like maybe Johnny too, to an extent. If like Usagi, if they had a JoJo character who would they successfully had worked with prior get injured in front of them like that, or like break down in front of them like how their life got hurt, every JoJo would be like, let's go.
Yeah.
We're going after that person.
But Jodio was just like if Dragona's.
Yeah, Jody was like, well, if Dragona's already said so, then I guess I will, you know?
I also like that Jodio has his sister Dragona there with him. Because, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the JoBro sibling the JoJo sibling dynamic. But yeah, I don't know, it feels like a very fresh take on a character from like on a protagonist from Rocky's writing.
Yeah.
Especially because like I can even imagine like Johnny, I don't know, like Hot Pants got injured or something, and Johnny would be like, we're going after whoever did that.
Yeah.
Although Johnny would still be more motivated by if they had corpse parts or not.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, I don't know. I feel like most JoJos in that situation would be more like, let's go after them.
I agree.
Or would be more gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
And Jodio is more like, he thinks about it, and he seems almost like he doesn't want to do it. And then Dragona's like, we're doing it. And then he thinks about it, and he's like, wait, I can get money off this.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, what if we just steal them for everything they're worth?
Money.
Yeah. Overall, good chapter. I'm excited to see what comes out next month, and I'm also very excited for the Steel Ball Run anime. That'll be very cool. Okay, well, I think that'll be the end of the first episode of the JoJolanders. There we go.
Signing off.